So thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. So we're gonna go in here and go into chapter 8 of the book today, and it talks about the need to just taking another step in all we've been talking about the need to see the humanity in one another, right? Pretty much said two parables, pretty much summarized the book for me. One is that when Jesus asks, who is your neighbor, and is your neighbor is the person that sees the human in you. Simply, is not the person that takes religion above humanity. He's not the one that takes his busy schedule above humanity. He's not the person that takes tribe above humanity. There's a person that understands that at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, we are all human. We're all human and equal before God, right? None is better than the other. We are all equal. In God, there is no brother, sister, mother, father, child, Jew, Greek, Christian, Muslim. We're all just human before God, and we're all the same, right? We all proceed from God, and we're all going to go back to God. Our spirits came from God. Our spirits will return back to God. But right? So in that sense, we're all the same. Right, we all have the red blood that flows inside of us. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, the color of your blood is red. Right? We all have the same blood that flows in on the inside of us. We're all human at the end of the day. We're all born. We're all going to die. We're all born. We're all going to die. We're all going to go back and meet our maker and give a report as to the way we lived our life. None of us is going to live our life, right? So in God, in humanity, we're all the same, and it helps to be able to see each other as that, not to see this person as Igbo, Jew, Palestine, and all of the other divisions we have, we have those just come along to blind us, right? When all of that is taken away, we go back to our very basic. We're all humans and we all proceed from God. When you look at the genealogy back to Adam, it says Adam, the son of God. We all go back to Adam, and Adam, the son of God. Adam proceeded from God, and we all proceeded from Adam. So we all find our roots, no matter where we track it through, but we all come back to Adam. We are all the same in Adam, right? So, and if we can understand that, then we can, one of the things we said is also that none of us is a stranger. A stranger is just somebody you are meeting for the first time. Not that the person is animal or something strange. It's just yourself that you're meeting for the first time. And all you need to do is be able to open up, interact with that person, and that person is no more a stranger, right? All it takes is a first meet. It takes a first interaction, and that label of stranger is taken away. The other parable or wisdom, ancient wisdom, you might call it, that I've seen, we've talked about as we go through the book, is the one which says that we should rejoice with those that rejoice and sorrow with those that sorrow. And that's something we'll live with every day. We'll live with every day, especially in the social media world. You can easily get depressed if you don't understand, this ancient wisdom. You scroll over on social media, you see every other person is doing well, and maybe your own life is static. And you're tempted to think that you're getting the wrong end of the stick, and you are depressed, you're feeling sorrowful. It's like life has left you, but that's not true. That's not true. For one, most of the things they are seeing online, there are backstories to it that might even be worse than your own. But that's not even what we're talking about here. But whatever it is that you're looking at, whatsoever it is that's happening to any other person, you too can have your own. You too can have your own. To way to bring your own to forth, the way to call your own forth is to rejoice with what you are seeing. Don't let what you are seeing make you sorrowful, because it will only push yours away. What you don't rejoice over, what you cannot celebrate, you cannot have. What you cannot celebrate, you cannot have. So if you see it happening in another person's life, your portion, your place is to celebrate it, because the way you're celebrating it is a magnet by which you call it into your own life. But when you celebrate it, you call it into your own life. You are praying it into your own life when you celebrate it in the life of someone else. What you celebrate in the life of someone else will easily find its way to you. What you don't celebrate in the life of someone else will not find its way to you. Right? When you celebrate, when you rejoice with someone else, you are praying that the thing that is happening to this person, may it also happen to me. You are making your life, as it were, you are preparing your life. You are making your life a magnet for the thing you are rejoicing over in another person's life. And it must be a sincere rejoicing for the prayer to be true. There's also the other side to it, we need to also sorrow with those that sorrow. We don't rejoice over another person's downfall, but we sorrow with them. We don't abuse their seeming temporal momentarily moment of sorrow, but we come down to them as equals and we sorrow with them. We provide a shoulder for them to lean on. We provide our presence to cover them, to cover their nakedness in the time of their weakness. We give them that impression. We give them that truth that they have someone in us, right? So it's rejoicing with those that rejoice, with sorrow with those that sorrow. It's seeing everyone as human, right? And taking away the false label of tribalism, religiosity, and ethnicity, and all of those blindfolds, and seeing beyond those masks to the person that is made in the image and likeness of God. Right? That is what life entails. That is what life entails. And that's the way by which you also open the windows of heaven so that the blessings of God can be to you. Because when you appreciate, you honor God in another person's life, you are honoring God himself. And God is no debtor. He will pay you. When you honor God, he will honor you. When you honor God in another person's life, God will honor you, not that person. So Jesus says, give and it shall be given unto you. Press down, shaking together, and running over. So will men pour into your bosom, right? When you honor God, God will make men to pour into your bosom, right? When you rejoice with another person's joy, God will make men to pour into your bosom. When you sorrow with another person's sorrow, God will make men to be there for you also in the time of your sorrow, in the time of your downfall, in the time of your cold, in the time of your visitation, right? So let's go ahead into chapter 8 today. It talks about wonder, the need, to seek to understand. It ties into Stevie Covey's third law of highly effective people. It says you seek to understand before you are understood. Before you want people to understand you, understand them first of all. That helps. That's the way we relate with people effectively, because when you understand people, then you're able to reach them the way they need to be reached. You are not just throwing things over the fence at them, and they're not, it's not hitting them the right way. But when you understand them, then you're able to get to them the way they need to be gotten to, not the way you want to get to them, but the way they need to be gotten to. Because your intent is not just to throw things at them, is to reach them. And to reach them, you must know where they are to reach them. So it's a place of seeking to understand where people are, why people behave the way they behave, why they respond the way they respond, and how to get your message through to them, right? Or how both of you can come to a common ground as human beings, right? So it takes an effort, right, to do that. The other thing I see in chapter 4 or chapter 8 here also is that place where when you're dealing with emotional tense situation, there's a need to step out of the frame. For me, I'm a counselor, right? So, and I'm a mentor also to a lot of people. Easy to mentor people on situations because I am not emotionally enwrapped in it than when I am than to mentor or counsel myself when I'm in the same situation. Guess the difference? the emotions. I'm emotionally charged in that situation, and my emotions seem to want to override my rationality. I know what is right to be done, but I don't feel like doing it. I know what is right to be done, but I don't feel like doing it. That's why most times I'm canceling people, say, take away all the emotions, take away all the emotions, right? Because sometimes the two don't go together. What is right to be done and what is emotionally, what your emotions want to do, right? And the ability to regulate our emotions is what is called emotional intelligence. That is the way to win in the world. That's the way to win in the marketplace, is the ability to regulate your emotions. You're right? Emotions are good, but in the right proportion and in the right place. Your emotions can put you in trouble. Your emotions can open doors to you. It's all about you knowing which emotion to show and in what proportion, in what place, right? It's called emotional intelligence, the ability to regulate your emotions, right? And sometimes it's difficult when you are emotionally involved or charged in a situation, when your ego is also involved in a situation. So one of the things one of the things we cancel to do is to step out of the box, step out of the frame, right? As it were, do an out of body experience, right? Come out of it, assume that you're not part of the situation, and it was someone else you were canceling in that situation. What would you cancel that person to do? What would you cancel yourself to do if your emotions were not involved? Right? And you get probably the best situation, best answer in such circumstances. It's also what we call cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Where you're reframing the situation, right? You're taking away the emotions and framing it, in a way that will empower you, in a way that will not get you further, and wrapped or entrapped by the emotions, by the situation, by the circumstance you are facing. You're looking for the solution. You're looking for a place whereby you can determine the end that you want. The end that you want. You're not just at the mercy of the emotions that are flying, but you're trying to determine the end that you want. And you're asking the question, how do I get to the end that I want? Right? Don't forget, you are the master of your emotions. You are the master of your destiny. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You are the captain of your person. How you direct your person will determine the fate, the destiny that you arrive at. You are the master. You are the captain. So use your place, use your position, because it will make a difference to the result that you get. Life is sowing and reaping. It's cause and effect. Nothing just happens. Everything happens because of the cause that was put in effect. So if you know the effect that you want, you know the fate that you want, you know the end that you want, be mindful of the seed that you're sowing. Be mindful of the costs that you're putting out there, because it will determine, as sure ways, it will determine the fate, the destiny, the end, the effect that you get. Right? All right.